Everybody like and subscribe, praise the bell icon. Story number 1.
It was a quiet Tuesday night in a small town. The kind of night where the only light came from street lamps and neon signs. A young man named David was working the late shift at the McDonald's off the highway. The store nearly empty except for a few scattered customers. He'd been alone for hours, flipping burgers and wiping down tables, when a strange feeling settled over him. A cold, crawling sensation like someone was watching from the shadows. Around midnight, a woman walked in. She didn't order anything at first. She just stood near the counter, staring at David with eyes that seemed too dark, too hollow, like they had no reflection of light at all. "Can I help you?" he asked, trying to shake the unease creeping up his spine. She didn't answer. She just whispered, "They're here." The voice was soft but somehow harsh, like it scraped the inside of his ears. David's stomach twisted. He had worked at McDonald's long enough to know late-night stragglers could be odd, but this felt different. She started moving through the restaurant slowly, almost gliding, never making a sound on the tiles. The lights flickered above him, then went out completely, plunging the store into darkness. The emergency lights hummed dimly, but it was enough to see her. She was standing inches from the soda machine now, tilting her head unnaturally, as if studying something David couldn't see. Then he heard it, a faint scraping like nails on metal. It came from the walk-in freezer. David's heart thumped violently as he realized the door was slightly ajar. Nobody else was supposed to be back there. He called out, trying to muster courage. "Hello? Who's there?" The scraping stopped. The woman turned toward him slowly, and for the first time, David noticed her face wasn't quite right. It was elongated, as if stretched, and her eyes moved independently of each other, darting around the room. He fumbled for the panic button behind the counter, but dropped it, the clatter echoing through the empty restaurant. That's when he heard whispers, hundreds of them. Faint at first, growing louder, coming from the vents, the ceiling, the floor. "Come, join us." The words slithered into his mind, and David realized with a sickening clarity that the voices weren't coming from anyone human. He ran for the exit, the woman gliding silently behind him. The door wouldn't open. The lights went out again, and in the darkness, David felt cold hands wrap around his shoulders, pulling him backward. He struggled, kicking, clawing, but there was no one visible, just the sensation of being dragged into something solid yet intangible. When the morning crew arrived, they found the McDonald's completely empty. The registers were open, fries left uneaten in trays, but there was no sign of David. The cameras had footage, but it was corrupted, just static and brief flashes of something moving too fast to see. And sometimes, late at night, locals swear they can hear a man's voice over the drive-thru speaker, whispering, "They're here." Employees quit after that night, leaving the store deserted during the late hours. Customers claim that if you stay past midnight, you might see a shadow moving near the fryers or catch a glimpse of a woman staring at you from the corner of your eye, never blinking, whispering promises you don't want to hear. And some say, if you press the speaker too long, you can hear him, a young man screaming, trapped somewhere between the walls, still begging for help that never comes. Would you like me to make an even more terrifying, detailed version that adds elements of the supernatural lurking specifically inside the kitchen and walk-in freezer? It can get truly stomach-churning.
Everybody like and subscribe, praise the bell icon. Story number 2.
It started with a night shift at a McDonald's on the outskirts of a small town. Emily had worked there for months and thought she had seen it all. Drunk drivers, late-night pranksters, even the occasional fight over a bag of fries. But this night felt different from the moment she clocked in. The air inside the restaurant felt heavier, almost oppressive, and the hum of the fluorescent lights sounded distorted, like whispers hiding in the buzz. Around 2 a.m., the drive-thru speaker crackled, though no car was visible outside. A voice, low and trembling, asked for something special. Emily called out for her manager, but the voice kept repeating the order. "I want it exactly like last time." Confused, she checked the security cameras, but the drive-thru lane was empty. The lights flickered, and she caught a glimpse of someone moving behind the counter, though she was alone with the night janitor in the back. She shrugged it off as exhaustion and continued her work, but the feeling of being watched never left. Orders started appearing on the screen that no customer had placed. Fries, burgers, drinks, all listed in a random, chaotic sequence, each order time-stamped with times that hadn't happened yet. Emily tried deleting them, but they would pop up again, sometimes with messages scribbled in the notes. "You shouldn't be here. I see you. We're hungry." When she finally went to the freezer to restock, she froze. A series of handprints, large, greasy, and impossibly human, marred the frost-covered glass. She turned quickly, and the walk-in door slammed behind her. The lights cut out completely, plunging her into darkness, and she felt something brush against her shoulder. Emily ran into the dining area, but the tables were rearranged in a circle, as if someone or something had been sitting there watching her. Her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "You work the night, but you'll never leave." The screen flickered again, revealing security footage that wasn't hers. She saw herself behind the counter, but in the reflection, her eyes were black, hollow, staring. She stumbled backward as the door to the storage room creaked open, though no one was inside. Then the smell hit her, a mixture of burnt fries, rotting meat, and something metallic like blood. Emily ran toward the back exit, but the door wouldn't budge. She could hear whispers in the vents, soft and mocking. Something heavy landed on the floor behind her, followed by the unmistakable sound of footsteps walking toward her. She turned her head slowly, her stomach twisting, and in the dim light of the emergency exit sign, she saw dozens of faces pressed against the glass of the front windows. Customers, employees, and others she didn't recognize, all pale, hollow-eyed, grinning with mouths full of McDonald's food, but eating as though starving, endlessly chewing. When the lights finally flickered back on, Emily was alone. The dining area was spotless. The orders vanished, the handprints gone, as if none of it had ever happened. The janitor was still in the back, staring at her with a blank expression. She quit that night, never returning, but rumors spread. Staff who worked the 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. shifts reported strange occurrences. Burgers appearing on counters with their own notes, employees feeling watched, whispers in vents. Some say the store was built on land where an old slaughterhouse used to stand, that the screams of the past never left. Emily never spoke of what she saw again. She doesn't eat at McDonald's, and she warns others, don't go in alone at night. And if you hear a voice ordering exactly like last time, don't answer. Some things that order aren't meant to be served, and some diners never leave.
Everybody like and subscribe, praise the bell icon. Story number 3.
It was a rainy Thursday night when a small-town McDonald's stayed open later than usual. Most of the regulars had gone home, leaving only the night shift employees and a few late diners. Sarah, a young crew member working the drive-thru, was tired, cold, and anxious to finish her shift. The fluorescent lights flickered intermittently, casting a ghostly pallor over the restaurant. At around 11:45 p.m., a man in a tattered hoodie approached the counter. He didn't say much at first, just stared at Sarah with an unsettling stillness. When he finally spoke, his voice was low and scratchy, almost like he had been whispering to himself for hours. He ordered a simple meal, but demanded it be made in an odd, almost ritualistic way. His instructions were precise, down to the smallest detail. Sarah tried to comply, her hands trembling as she followed his bizarre requests. Then the lights went out. Complete darkness swallowed the restaurant. At first, Sarah thought it was just a power outage, but the emergency lights didn't flicker on. The man in the hoodie didn't move, didn't speak. He just stood there, his eyes reflecting the faint glow of the outside streetlights. Panic crept in and she fumbled for her phone, trying to call for help. That's when she noticed it. Footsteps, not coming from the front entrance, but from the kitchen. Slow, deliberate, echoing footsteps. Sarah froze. She had been alone in the back room just minutes before. The footsteps grew louder, circling her, always stopping just out of reach. She could feel someone or something watching her. When the lights flickered back on, the man was gone. But the smell of something rotten lingered in the air, like burnt meat mixed with decay. Heart pounding, she ran to the manager's office, only to find the back door wide open, swinging in the wind. Security footage later showed something that made the night staff quit en masse. The man had never entered through the front. He simply appeared inside the restaurant, standing silently in the corner, watching Sarah make the food. And when the lights went out, he was gone. Yet the camera still caught his reflection in the kitchen tiles, eyes black, hollow, smiling. No one ever figured out how he got in or why he was there. Some say he had been haunting that McDonald's for years, appearing only when the weather turned stormy, when the fluorescent lights flickered, and when the night crew were too exhausted to notice the shadows moving behind them. Sarah never returned to that job, and every time she drives past a McDonald's at night, she swears she sees someone standing in the corner, watching through the windows, waiting for the lights to go out.